office, 3 schools, municipal building, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Emerson. Will you all please stand for the flag salute? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being called to order at 7:34. I'll have a roll call now. Mrs. Mara?
Here.
Mr. Gralick?
Here.
Mrs. Riccardi?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the results of the Board of Education.
I'll make the motion that the Board of Education accept the report of the election proceedings of November 5th, 2024, pending certification by the State Election Board. Total registered voters, 5,826. Total votes cast, 75.99%, 4,427. Candidate results, Bruce Pazdar, 3-year term, 2,903 votes.
Seconded.
By Mr. Gralick. Roll call, Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Mr. Gralick?
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, will the newly elected board member, Mr. Bruce Pazdar, please step forward and you will be administered the oath. All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Bruce Pazdar,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Bruce Pazdar,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. This. At this time, I'd like to open up the nominations for President of the Board of Education.
I'll make a motion that Bruce Pazdar be nominated for President of the Board of Education.
I'll second.
Seeing no motions, I'll do roll call. Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Mr. Gralick?
Aye.
Mr. Pazdar?
Aye.
Yep. Mrs. Riccardi?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Like magic. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. First of all, I'd like to just thank my fellow board members for having the trust in me to to elect me as president, and I'm honored to serve that role, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. At this time, I would like to make a motion to, that Amy Mara be nominated for Vice President of the Board of Education.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Riccardi. Roll call.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Grolick,
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar,
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi,
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
John, do you want me to, or are you gonna?
Oh,
I
yes,
could
yep.
do it. Why does he have to walk all the way?
A round of applause for Mrs. Mara.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Press their
Thank you.
change out.
Add it to the end of your
Congratulations.
title. Thank you. Thank you all likewise. I'll echo what Bruce said. I can't say it any better, but I'm really enjoying serving with this incredible board, and I'm really looking forward to continuing this year.
Thank you. Mrs. Mara, would you make a motion to approve the committee appointments for finance and negotiations?
I move that the Board of Education approve the following committee appointments from January 6, 2025 until the reorganization meeting of 2026 for finance and negotiations, Chair Bruce Pasdar and Member Keith Smith.
Seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Grolick. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Grolick,
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar,
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi,
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Just for the sake of transparency and information and communication to the public, we are still finalizing assignments for the facilities, buildings, and grounds, as well as the curriculum, instruction, and student achievement committees. We will make those decisions, and we will provide the results of that at the next Board of Education meeting later in January. Mrs. Riccardi, would you make a motion for the approval of the appointments, please?
Sure. I motion that the Board of Education approve the following appointments from January 6th, 2025 until the reorganization meeting of 2026. Amy Mara as Board Representative and Bruce Pasdar as alternate to the Bergen County and NJSBA Legislative Committee.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Smith. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Grolick,
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar,
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi,
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, would you open a meeting to the public for input and comment, please?
I move to open the meeting to the public for input and comments on agenda items only.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Riccardi. All in favor?
Aye. No pressure. I'm kidding.
All right. No comments. Mr. Grolick, would you mind closing it out?
I move to close the meeting to the public for input and comments.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The board has had an opportunity to review the agenda items. With that, Mr. Smith, would you mind adopting motion 8, please?
I move to adopt all items on the above consent agenda.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Riccardi. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Grolick,
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar,
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi,
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to Superintendent's report. Dr. Nissenhoff.
So I have, as this is the reorganization meeting, the only thing I have under my report is for the board to take the opportunity to discuss the code of ethics.
So, as we do each year, we are required to adopt the New Jersey School Boards Association Code of Ethics. What we like to do here at Emerson is, as a show of acceptance of the Code of Ethics and to practice and live by those, we like to read those out loud, so we'd like to do that at this time. I'll go ahead and start. by reading them, and we'll each take turns. I will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired changes shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. I will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing.
I will confine my board action to policy making, planning, and appraisal. I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. I will carry out my responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with my fellow board members to see they are well-run.
I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action that may compromise the board. I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups or to use the schools for personal gain or for the gain of friends.
I will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools, which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, I will provide accurate information and, in concert with my fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its school. I will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer.
I will support and protect school personnel and proper performance of their duties. I will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution.
Great, thank you, everyone. Mrs. Mara, would you make a motion to adopt the Code of Ethics, please?
Sure. Okay. I move to be it resolved that the Board of Education adopt the Code of Ethics for the 2025-2026 school year as recommended by the superintendent.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Grolick. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Grolick,
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar,
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi,
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Grolick, could you open a meeting to the public, please?
I move to open the meeting to the public for input and comments.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mara. All in favor?
Aye.
No comments. Mrs. Riccardi, could you close the meeting to the
Sure.
public?
I move to close the meeting to public for input and comments.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Before we close the meeting, I'd just like to make a quick comment. January is, I'd like to take a moment to self-congratulate ourselves, is School Board Recognition Month. So I wanted to take this opportunity to personally thank my fellow board members for their commitment and their work towards improving the lives of this public school and the students, and the work you do here is fantastic, and just wanted to recognize us all for that work, so thank you. And with that, Mr. Smith, could you close the meeting to the public?
I move to close the meeting to the public and adjourn at 7:47 PM. The next meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for January 27, 2025 at 7:30 PM in the High School Media Center.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Riccardi. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to make any comments? All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks.
Hey, guys.
Say hi.
Hey.
No, you're gonna be shy.
This is where.
The quietest they'll be all day.
Great to see you. Great to see you.